My eyes are swelling shut. um, Today is all about balance. So we missed a class on yesterday because Theo was off ill, and so we missed a little bit of intro to the arm balances. Not that everyone usually makes that class anyway; it's a quieter one. So this morning, though, is a bit more of a flowy, arm balancy, inversiony, standing balancy class, all the things. So let's press our play on our playlist. Let's just start it right now. So that can be ticking along in the background for a moment. Just want to talk a bit about just a bit about today, because there is a section or a segment in the flow where, oh, hang on, my volume's down really low, where we will move through arm balances, and arm balances that won't have a lot of time, well, and arm balances that we won't have loads of time to prep for in terms of technique. So I won't go into the finite details of flying splits or Bakasana crow pose, but I will give you your usual cues and options. And there is time to be there with those two poses. The time we're going to spend balancing, we're just spending longer in the poses. So you'll see as you move. So we will be going into the poses, experiencing them, and then coming out of them for some rest and some moment to integrate. At the end, I have sequenced in that we spend some time in headstand practice. So specifically in headstand today, which we'll go into a bit more detail. It's all very well and good me saying each week, oh, I'm not going to go into it here. That's a workshop thing. But it would be nice to have a class that's recent, that's got a bit more detailed instruction on how to enter, exit, and be in headstand, and all the options for it as well. Really looking forward to standing on my head today. My sinus is like this. Probably won't be able to speak while I do that today, so just bear with me. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to start on our mats, and as is a balanced flow, we balance the breath as well. So come and sit however you wish to. Bear in mind that you may have some sinus congestion, which may mean that you don't quite feel as free to breathe in a way that is supportive to your body. Okay, so just being really mindful of that as we take a few moments to just pause, come to a comfortable seat, and close the eyes. And we let the sounds of the playlist trickle in to our morning and to our time on the mat together today. And we've got two airways, two passageways for the breath to enter and exit the body. Two ways at which they can come into action of bringing energy in and releasing excess. We're going to just take a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana. If you do have any oil, actually, like eucalyptus, if you've got your Vic stick, or you got your air oil, or something that clears, something pepperminty that's got some clearing, cleansing quality. It might be nice to even have a drop or two of that on the hands before we start this. In fact, that would be really lovely. You don't have to. As you close the eyes, take a few moments to just breathe in and out through the nose. We'll take a moment to notice if there is one side that feels a little bit less clear than the other, a bit more congested. And taking one hand up towards the face, deep breath in through both nostrils. Close off the right with the ring finger or the thumb, depending on which hand you're using. And exhale through the left. Close off the left. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale right. And we'll just continue this breath. Slow and steady. And the next time that you empty, just let the hand come back down away from the face. Take some breaths in the center. It might feel a bit stressful, the breath, if you are bunged up. If you've got the oil though, or something, any oil, anything that clears airways, doesn't have to be essential oil blend, it can be something medicinal that you're using. I'm just saying this because I know there's a lot of colds, flus, things going around. And as you practice this over the coming weeks, it's a nice reminder to just bring that onto the hands, just to encourage clarity in airways, clearance in airways. We'll switch sides. We'll take a deep breath in. And this time we'll start by exhaling through the right. Inhale left. And finding that steady rhythm. You're going to carry this with you throughout the flow today. As you exhale, the next time, release the hand. There's going to be times today where you're going to need to just come back to that and this feeling now of grounded, steady sense of being. Come onto your hands and knees. And from your hands and knees, tuck the toes. Come to kneeling, bum away from your heels. As you inhale, reach your hands above the head, palms connect. As you exhale, swan dive down, hands through the heart center in prayer, crawl forwards. Inhale into low plank. So your knees are down, but your shoulders are forwards, directly above the wrists. As you exhale, hug your elbows in, move down. Do the knees, chest, chin variation. Your option, Sphinx, seal, or baby cobra. Keep it low. Exhale to child's pose. Sit back, big toes touch, arms stretch forward, forehead kisses the earth. As you inhale, rise all the way up, including sweeping your hands up above the head, palms connect. Exhale, as you dive forward, your bum goes back. As your bum goes back, hands ground. Walk them forwards. Load the shoulders on top of the wrists. Inhale. Exhale, move down through your flow. Keep it low. Back bend stays low to begin with. Child's pose. So a few different ways to open up the body first thing today. So inhale, we rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale. So have that plank position strong in the body. So knees are down, but core is loaded. As you exhale, we lower. We stay low for our back bend still. And low is relative, right? It's a term that we can use quite loosely. You know, what does a low back bend mean to me is different maybe to some of you, vice versa. I'm going to go for two more of these. And just finding our way through a little bit of waking up. This is your first practice of the week. And you're welcoming your body into this space. Go for one more flow, like that. We've got a few different ones to move through. As you come back to child's pose this time, hold here for a moment so we can all wait to move together on this one. And then from here, shuffle forwards. Enough so that you can release your feet to tuck your toes, push your bum back to your heels. Really important, this next instruction is that your bum's going to go straight up, not hips forwards then up, okay? So from here, you just push straight back and up without letting the hips come forwards. Okay, so it's a nice little transition to get used to using the strength of pressure back and up rather than moving and shifting the weight forwards to try and increase our arm pressing. So from here, anyone that's bunged up, now's the time that comes alive, isn't it? Ripple forward. So you're going to puff the upper back up, come onto your tippy toes, ripple and roll forwards until your shoulders are stacked on your wrists. Now, yogi's choice, but we're going to try and stay with the knees off the floor as we lower to the ground. Full chaturanga. One way push up and then inhale to back bend, okay? I like the one way push up, just down, the bit where gravity helps you. Exhale, downward facing dog. So your bum goes back all the way to the heels, toes are tucked. Press up and back, not forwards with the hips, okay? Keep practicing that as you inhale, ripple forwards, tippy toes, puff the back up, ripple around and unfurl at the top, and then slowly down. So just reinvesting in our strength, reactivating those places in the body. And it's quite slow, actually. Yeah, it's quite a slow flow. So bum back and bum goes straight up each time. That's your timing now, guys, okay? So you'll be just kind of free flowing, finding your rhythm, finding it with your breath. And hey, listen, if you need to open the mouth to take a few breaths, or all the breaths today, then me too. So let's stay with it. Yeah, let's stay with the breathing. Whatever it is we have to do to keep the breath flowing. The back bend may be even more of a back bend for you now. I feel like the body's had that chance. You're going to go for 5 in total, so probably around 1 more, or some of you may already be there. I've been moving super, super slow, so maybe you're finding the same. And this time, downward dog. Excuse me. A bit too much eucalyptus, I think. Allow yourself to hold in down dog. So we've held in child's pose, hold in down dog this time. Deepen the breath. Press the heart back towards the thighs. Right leg to the sky, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to step the right foot through to the inside of the right thumb. Give it a helping hand if it doesn't get there by itself. Back knee stays off the floor, long back leg. And we'll just take a few moments. Yeah, we're just going to take a few moments to just work into that hip, to let the bum move back and forwards. What's happening? Where's a sensation? Can we stretch a little deeper into it? And then from here, left hand grounded, right hand to the sky. We're going to step it into side plank. So your option here is to lower the back knee, but stay with the knee up if you can for the first round. You'll see why. So side plank. And then with the right big toe, you're going to tap it into like a wild thing shape. Just tap the floor, no weight in the foot. And then spin it out. So right hand, loads of balance needed here, comes down, spin and kick the right foot through. If the right foot comes to the floor, it taps. It's just a tap. Yeah, and come back to downward facing dog. So lots of core activation, lots of balance activation, and that's how the flow goes for this side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it to the inside of the left thumb. Let's move the hips. Here we get this. It's not a break, but we're not in full strength mode and balance mode when we're here. We get to work more on the flexibility, the movement in the hips, the pelvis. Okay, right hand is down. We're going to step it back into side plank. but we could step it straight over to tap the toe if that feels okay. Left hand to the sky, and then bring it all the way through. Left hand to the floor. Kick the left foot through, or the outer edge of the foot just taps, grazes lightly on the floor. Back into down dog, plank. Move through your flow. Knees, chest, chin is all good. Yeah, knees, chest, chin is all good. You can work, of course, full chaturanga flow. Trying to keep the bum going up and back in your flow as well. Into down dog. The right leg to the sky, inhale. Step it through. You're going to get a little bit more balanced and have a lot more control and finesse in a moment in this flow. That first round might have felt a little bit kind of clunky. It did when I was sequencing it. For me, it felt really not smooth. Left hand down, right hand to the sky. The right hand is out of action for this. It's there for balance. It's out of the way. Step it back and over. Tap the toe. Just tap. It's not even got any weight in it at all. Then through. Fallen star, rock star. Left hand to the sky this time. It's out the way. Down dog. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. You need your core active for all the things that are to come. If we are to balance, we need the core on. Left foot forwards. Work into the pelvis. Okay, you know what to do now. So I'm not going to keep talking through the same sequence. We're going to finish this one, do our chaturanga, and then we're going to do one more full round on both sides. Okay, so as you move, what we're trying to determine and solidify for ourselves is the space of connection to the body fully, all places. Yeah, so I was tapping the big toe, the outer edge of the foot. We're not usually that concerned about what either of those places are doing in our practice. Let's be a little bit more aware, not concerned, but much more aware and hyper-focused in our practice today. Okay, last full round on both sides. You can stay as long as you want for the lunge. Okay. If you feel like the right foot dumps and lands onto the floor at any time, don't leave that part of the sequence until you feel like you've found lightness. Yeah, feel what it is to have a feather-like touch. Yeah. Feel what it is to float through space. Doesn't always have to be standing balances or arm balances. These transitions are showing us our ability to float and find the balance between landing firmly and the balance between that and landing soft. Finding our ability to glide. Takes quiet and focus and breath to do so. After this next round, roll through your flow. Come and sit back to your heels. Okay, move through the wrists a little bit. Back of the hands together. Give yourself some wrist relief. When the back of the hands come together, you can create fists and then release, fists and then release. Harder balance challenge, I think. Balance on the tippy toes. So we can have a little play with that. You can move the wrist around. A little bit of mobility. Keep the heel of the wrist or the base of the wrist together. Circles, circles. Go one way, go back the other. Okay, lean forwards, tuck the toes. We're going to come and sit back into toe squats or toe sits, or toe squats, sorry, not toe sit, toe squats. So our heels are off the floor. Drishti's in front of us. We're looking straight ahead. Arms can reach up, forwards, out wide. Without the heels dropping, can we come up to standing on the tippy toes? And then can we slowly bring the hips back to the heels for our toe squat? Yeah. Notice how the body has to shift. Similarly to tapping the toe in Wild Thing and bringing it through, we're trying to find light touch movement. So heels aren't landing and clunking down. One more, rise up. Finding that space of balance. Even more excitement when the sun is shining directly into your eyes. Walk forwards. Down dog. Okay, breathe. Well done. Stretch out the heels now, press back. Maybe the ankles need a bit of freedom. Yeah, give it to them. Let's find high lunge on the right side. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot to the inside of the right thumb. Float it up, high lunge position. Find your high lunge. Set it all up. Think about this as like your return to space. Front foot flat, back heel lifted, but legs engaged, really familiar. We've been here so many times, we know it. We're going to bring the back foot through to begin with, straightening it straight out in front of us. As you do, you can choose, reach down, left peace fingers around left big toe. Or if that feels like a lot, you could use a strap. You could hold around the back of the left thigh. Right hand is either in the sky or out wide or on the hip. Finding that focus point, that breath. Notice your balance this morning. What's it like? Yeah, what's happening with the body? So trying to ground through the right foot, flatten it. We're trying to find that rooting, push the floor down and away. And then the left foot's going to kick back. As the left foot comes through space, we're going to spin it out. Left hip rolls on top of right, half moon. Right hand to the floor or to the block. Stretch the left heel away from you. Left hand to the sky. And breathe. Deeper inhale. Deeper exhale. Now, as you start to find and gather your balance in this pose, one of my favorite ways to play here is to try and bring the right hand to either the base of the right shin, around the ankle, or just fingertip light touch to the earth, or no touch. So playing around with basically not kind of immersing ourselves in the feeling, the experience of having that right hand loaded, if we can, if it's available to us. Soften your right knee, let your left foot land, reverse your warrior, slide your left hand down your back leg. Again, we've been here before. Everything in this part of the flow is really familiar. Just some of it's going to be, or maybe all of it is going to feel quite intense. And it's going to be, you know, a bit of maneuvering the body, finding our lightness, finding our flight. When the hands down. We're going for toe grip side plank, option. There's options, okay? So the back knee can, of course, come down. He kicks down the left foot out, grab the toe, reach it back. We did this a few weeks ago. I said kind of half happy baby pose is great as well. You also don't have to grab the toe in your side plank. You might choose to go full roll onto the outer edge of your foot. Yeah, so full knee up, roll out, toe comes with you. Now from here, you want to let go of your right big toe. We might not want to, but we're going to. The back knee is down. We want to try and elevate it in whichever way feels good. The right hand comes down. We're going for flying splits here. As the right hand comes down, though, it needs to come behind the level of the left hand, sorry. And then the left hand needs to come back too. We need to shorten that distance. We load our right leg onto our right arm. We hug our left elbow in and we tip forwards. We tip the balance. I appreciate that's a lot. Okay, if it's not in your body or if you're like, what is that? Yeah, have a play with bringing the right knee to the top of the right arm. You can move back for a moment if you feel like, okay, I need that. I need the moment. And then from here, we're going to take it straight back up into three-legged dog. So right foot is floating. Kick the toes to the sky. Keep the right foot elevated. Well done. Wherever you went to was good. Excellent. Breathe. Look between the thumbs. Chest is diving to that space you're gazing at. Hug your elbows in, chest down, and then float through. Back bend, up dog, whatever's good. Curl the toes. Come back to sit on the heels and lift the knees. Look forwards. Okay, a little bit of balance for a moment. Bakasana crow pose. So we're still in flow and we're still bringing in those arm balances to our movement. So hands down, knees high, shift forwards. Things to notice today, guys, and I'm saying this because I'm feeling it, I'm in it, is if you're not feeling 100%, your practice won't reflect what your 100% is. Even if you're giving it everything you've got right now in the moment, it's right now in the moment. It's true of anyone, whether you've got a cold or not. It's true of whether we're tired, whether we've done a lot or a little this week with our bodies, whether we're feeling emotionally charged in some way. So just be mindful of that as you move, even if these things are usually like, oh, they're usually there and they're not today. Remember, we're trying to find lightness. The balance theme and focus today is to float, is to find that lightness. Come down with the feet, walk the hands forward for down dog. Felt pretty good on that side. Let's see what it feels like on the other side. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step the left foot through between the thumbs. Rise up, high lunge. Reach the hands to the sky. Good, finding that balance, knowing that grounding is available to us at all times during our practice. And then from here, right leg comes through. We might catch the big toe on the way through or hold around the back of the right thigh as we try and find our focus point, our gaze point, our balance. Well done, nice. If you're grabbing the big toe, kick the foot forwards as far as it will allow you to go. And then this left leg, this left foot, is pushing the floor down and away. Big energy of pushing down. And slowly release the foot back. Drop the, nope, don't drop. Don't do anything. Roll the right hip on top of the left. We're trying to find the floor with the left fingertips as we spin our chest over to the right, finding half moon pose. It can take a moment. We're switching the balance, we're shifting the weight. We're choosing a different pose. Hand to bottom of shin, fingertips to floor. Breathe deep. Maybe you start to find a different way of being on this side. One more deep breath in. One more exhale. We're going to reverse the warrior. Right foot stepping all the way back. Left knee stays bent. Flip your left palm. Reverse away. Find that space with the left side of the rib cage. Breathe a little deeper. Send the left knee forwards. Find your twist. Hands frame the left foot. Right hand to the floor. Grab your big toe with your peace fingers. Roll onto the little toe edge of your right foot. Bring the left foot to the sky. Find that connection, that strength. Press the floor away. Wherever you are, amazing. Release the toe, but keep the leg floating. Left hand comes to the mat behind your, as in not in line with your right. Okay, so further towards you. Right hand comes back, and then the left knee, flying splits, comes on top of your left arm. You look forwards. We try and find our floats. We come back down. That's cool. You can still try from the knee to get the left knee up to the left elbow. There's still room here to be doing something to create balance and float. From here, we're going left leg to the sky, three-leg dog. We're looking through between the thumbs. Chest wants to land there. Moving through back bend. Coming back to tuck in the toes. Coming back to balance. Bakasana crow pose. Hands to the floor. Hips want to be higher than your shoulders when you're first learning this pose, at least. You want to keep looking forwards. If you're looking down, or even worse, behind you or between your feet, this is going to action in your body the auto response of forward rolling, which is not going to leave you feeling stable. Look forwards, jut your chin forwards. Keep the breath smooth. On an exhale, you try and roll forwards into it. As you get there, inhale and hold that position you get to. So like your exhale takes you to your point, and you stay and linger there for an inhale. Maybe if you feel like on the exhale you've got a little more to give, you float just a little more. And then here you hold on your inhale. Come back down. If you've got crow to headstand, or if you want to play with that, we'll just have a quick moment here, It might not be a quick moment. Have a moment here with it. That is when the permission is to change your eye line. All you've got to do is change where you're looking. Quite literally, it isn't a push-up. You're not going to try and bend your elbows and get your head to the floor. You're looking forwards and you're in your crow until you decide it's headstand time. You look back. You're in your headstand, not a heavy head landing. And then I can choose to keep my knees there, or I can choose to bring my knees off my arms. So it's two ways of finding it, just two drishti points. Forwards and out in crow. Back behind for headstand. One action's one, the other action's the next. The trick is to not look back and to let go of everything else you're doing. But you shouldn't do. Body is set to the setting of preservation. So it would be not instinctual to suddenly let go of everything. Have a go, have a play. Nice, some of you are there, brilliant. And if you're not, it's all good too. If you're still working with getting crow, then work with that. Do the breath thing that I suggested. The exhale to a point, a hold there for a breath in. And then another exhale to journey you a little bit further. Maybe that's when the toes come off because your body knows where it is. Lovely, nice. Really good, everyone. Beautiful. Well done. Come back. Sit onto the heels. Let the neck be long. The body just pause for a moment. Close the eyes, hands rest palms facing up or down. The balance between lightness and heaviness in practice is really challenging because a lot of the time we will feel our weight behind us in everything we do, and we do weigh something. We are human beings. We are feeling like we're having to navigate our bodies around the movement we're trying to make rather than allowing ourselves to navigate the movement around our body. So where can we adapt our practice and also just life to actually suit what our body needs it to be, to feel that lightness? It says all the time, it's like when we feel like, you know, we're a typical non-runner, for example. For me, that means feeling like my legs are like lead, that I'm not finding any ease or moments of let up in running. And I had to learn to go slow. Much slower than I've ever run, much slower than I envisaged I would run. So you have to run slow. And then what? You feel light, you feel easeful, you could go for hours. Yeah, it's different for everyone. Different, and things are different for everyone. I'm just using running as an example because it's my most recent. And same with practice. That toe tap wild thing, that leg through, finding that dance, that float. We're trying to discover where we can actually navigate and change the weight distribution so that we can feel light. We've got one more part of the sequence before we focus on headstands. And for that, I would love you to be by a wall if it's possible. If it's not a wall, it could be a sofa you're happy to land on. Okay, just in case. There is a just in case. Then we're just going to come to stand. We're going to stand at the top of the mat, or like a bit further back from the top of the mat. Sorry about that. Okay. Take a moment to just breathe. To ground. Feet apart, so the heels are under the hips. Your drishti is in front of you, and it might have changed now if you've moved your mat to a different place. Yeah, just set it up so that you have that wall there, because you may choose to do a handstand kick, and if you are, this is another place we're going to find balance. We're going to use the wall for it though. That's why we need that wall there, or something, a sofa maybe to land on. Right knee to the chest, toe grip. Breathe. Dancer's pose. So we bend the knee, we release the foot for a moment, and then we reach back. As we catch the foot. Dancer's pose is brief. It's more of a transitionary pose, actually, this time. We're kicking the foot up. We are bowing the body down until we reach the floor with the left hand, and then we can release the right foot back and up. Standing splits, she says, as we try and find the balance. Okay, place the hands flat to the floor. Out in front of you, grip the mat with the fingers. If you need to bend your left knee to accommodate the hands flat, then do. Roll your right hip now down in line with your left. And look forwards as you start to come up onto the left tippy toe, shifting the weight into your arms. And then rock back. Rock forwards. And then rock back. Now let's practice bending the left knee, rocking forwards, push the floor away, kick, and maybe a heel lands on the wall. And if it does, I want you to squeeze that left knee in towards your belly, like you're trying to crush the hip flexor, and hold and find some lightness. Keep kicking. If you're not getting to the wall yet, keep kicking, kicking. Keep the leg high, bend the other leg. Yes. Left knee is bent. Push the floor away. Nice, everyone. Really good. Notice the bit in the air where you leave the floor. That bit of float. Does it feel like a float? Does it feel heavy? How can you navigate this? What can you do? And then just full permission to come and try a handstand any way that feels most supportive to you. Because if you know you can usually catch the float, but you're finding it hard to kick up from that position, try it a different way. You've built some strength. You're definitely activated. Try it a different way. Okay? What do you need? Nice. Lovely. Amazing. Come down to crouch. Let the blood just tip the other way for a moment. Slowly stand. Heels under hips. Toes spread. Shift the weight. Right leg. Bend left knee. Extend left foot forward. Ooh. Then we'll take the left foot back, release the toe for a moment. Dancer's pose as a transition pose. Very rare that we do this. Kick the foot back. It's like a scales tipping as we find balance, as we shift our body weight to accommodate. Release the leg when you get the hand to the floor. Standing splits of your variety. Hands flat to the earth out in front of you. Spread the fingers, grip. Shift into your right leg, come up onto the tippy toes. Roll forwards. Load the shoulders over the wrist, push away. Don't bend the elbows. Lean back. Roll forwards, push the floor away. And back. And this time, roll forwards, bend the right knee, up. We kick up. We're trying to land it so we can find ourselves. A little catch in the air. Might not be the leg you usually kick off. Maybe the other one wasn't. But try and stay with it. Yes, nice. If you catch it, we're trying to find a little bit of float. Yes. Try to catch the wall. Try and kick through the wall. Yes, nice. Amazing. Yes, yes, yes. And then try and find your way into it. What is that for you? What is your way? Yeah. A little bit of playful upside downness on a Saturday morning. Grip the floor, push down, straighten out the arms. There's a bend in the elbows. You haven't got that stack of security. Nice. Come back to let the blood go the right way for a moment. Breathe and just If you're going to have your mat near the wall for headstand, awesome. We are going to do a few drills. Okay, so we've got this little section of time at the end where I'm dedicating to drills for balance. It will be all levels open and available too. If you can do down dog, which everyone here can do, you're going to be able to do something, and probably quite a lot of something of what we're about to do. Okay, I will demonstrate some of it. Just going to be mindful of the fact that my sinuses might actually explode or implode if I do too much of it. So the reason we want the wall, child has been eating pom bears in here. Thinking, what is that on the floor? It's a pom bear. What on earth? Did not notice that when I was in here for about half an hour before class. So we're going to be facing the way away from the wall. So the wall is behind us now, okay? Lots of you have done this with me or with other people in classes many times. It's a very common strength drill. I tell you what we'll do before we headstand, we'll stay with handstand because it will still build the strength in the shoulders. But I think we appreciate the headstand version a lot more and notice the difference a lot more if we've tried the handstand one first. So essentially, we're going to try and do down dog with our feet on the wall. And then we're going to try and walk the hands back towards the wall as far as we can go. Let's say you get here, then you're just holding here. You don't need to take your feet away from the wall. This isn't a competition to try and hold a handstand at this point. What you're going to just try and do is hold, okay? Now, for most of us, having that gap between our bodies and the wall is going to be the safety net. Good. But we do still want to push the floor away and not banana back. So not banana back, because it might start, your body might start to bow a little bit, yeah? But you really notice the strength in that in comparison to headstand. Lovely, everyone, really nice. Come down when you're ready. Don't knacker the shoulders too much. We do want them to be alive for headstanding, but yeah, we'll do the splits up the wall. Nice, Felicity. The praying mantis is handstanding. So from here, nice. We'll do the same drill. The same drill, but different. Give your wrists a little bit of movement just to relieve them. And this will relieve them as well because you won't be on them. Forearms down. So when we set up for a headstand, and just for those of you that, well, all of you have practiced with me really regularly, but you've also practiced with me over the last 7-8 years I've been teaching, lots of you. And so my opinion and my school of thought and my own learning has changed, and the teachers that I go to have changed, and the understanding of my body has changed. So now I would say, obviously, earlier on, I did crow to headstand, tripod headstand. It's the only time, and you probably noticed that I barely took my knees away from my arms, because it's the only time I'll ever do tripod headstand these days is in that transition. And I tend to not really do that transition because I don't like all the weight through my neck, my like very precious neck, which I definitely don't want to injure in any way on any level, whether that's low level or extreme. And the risk is just there with that, okay? Because all the pressure is through your head. Your hands, unfortunately, this part from your elbow to your wrist doesn't really have a lot of ability to hold lots of strength. That's not where our big juicy Arnie muscles are, okay? That's in our upper arm. So we've got our triceps, our biceps. Yeah, exactly, Felicity. Exactly. You've got your swans, they're there. So, and also you've got your delts, you've got your traps, you've got everything in your shoulder girdle as well. And this joint here, your shoulder joint, obviously those of you that have injured this space before will probably be like, oh, I don't know whether it feels that stable. And it is the most stable out of the three, yeah, of wrist, elbow, and shoulder. It's got so much stability and so much security. So this is why I will always teach forearm variation of headstand, and why I would really, really encourage all of you to just pursue that. If you want a longevity in your headstand practice and your yoga practice side by side, if you don't care about headstands, actually, maybe it doesn't really matter. But if you like headstands, if you like having that as an inversion part of your practice for whatever reason, aesthetic or otherwise, you know, it doesn't matter what your reasoning is. It's really, really important that we get the forearm version down. So to set it up, regardless of whether you're doing it against the wall or doing it this way we're about to do with the wall behind us, elbows down, we hold the opposite elbow, we wrap the little fingers around. And from that place there, that is where we keep the elbows almost like they fuse to the floor. We separate the hands, we lace the hands together. I'm creating a cup that the back of my head, so really where my ponytail is at the moment, that's how high up you can see. The back of my head is there still. The top of my head is coming to the floor, but my ponytail will be in my hands. Cool. Once I feel pretty good about that, I'm going to snuggle myself a little closer to the wall because I know that I need to get super close to feel like I can get my hips over my shoulders. And then I'm going to have a play. It's a bit cheaty because my feet always want to get away from the wall when I do headstand, but your idea is that you're going to walk the feet up, okay? That you're going to find some time here. Now, you might not walk very high, first of all, and the key is to keep the pressure in your elbows. Keep the pressure in your elbows and arms. Let's have a little look. Nice. Then I want you to walk your toes in line with your hip crease. So imagine you're then an L against the wall. So Emma can bring your toes down. So can you, Jane. I can see some of you side on. Felicity, you can too, but you might find that you're actually quite close to the wall there. And I reckon Emma and Jane, you could get closer to the wall maybe, but Jane, you could walk the feet down a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. A bit more. Oh, you're in pincher. Your head's away from the floor completely. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, great. Okay, so you can also, this is a moment for me to just reiterate that as well. You can do this with pincher. You don't have to have your head on the floor. So if you have neck stuff or shoulder stuff, pain anywhere, doesn't feel good to put pressure through your head for any reason, do the same thing, but with pincher mayurasana. You definitely know where your shoulders are then. Cool. So once you've walked up the wall that way, walk back down. Cool. Yes, Nicola, nice. Now turn around. Actually, yeah, turn around. Yeah, turn around. I'm just thinking there was something else I wanted to put in there. Some of you have been with me recently where I've been teaching, and I'm just going to say this and you can decide, where we set up with holding the opposite elbow separated. This is a workshop I went to recently with a teacher called Brad Terrell. You should definitely check him out. He's unbelievably flexible. I'm watching him, it's like hypnotic, but he's incredibly strong in his flexibility because he's a man. He's got a lot of extra muscle mass as well. It's a bit easier for him to build strength, but he's got hypermobile backs, hypermobile spine and hips anyway. But what he teaches a lot of, because of his hypermobility, I think, what he said, is to be even more compact through strength. And I love this way of teaching because it would be exactly how I would teach a lift, is to stay compact, to stay solid. So if you're in the gym, lifting anything or pressing anything, I would say you want to stay compact, you want to stay powerful. You're most powerful when you're your most grounded and your smallest. And I don't mean smallest like actual physical size, I mean most like tucked in. If you're going to press something and your elbows are out here, you're not going to have as much strength as when they're in here. It's why most people find pressing overhead easier than bench pressing. Yeah, because we've got a lot more, obviously we haven't got gravity on our side here, but we've got a lot more pushing power when we're compact and we're in than when we're wide out. Yeah, it's the same with headstand. So if our elbows are out here, that might feel really good for now. You might be practicing that for the last decade or more, and that might be like, yeah, I'm cool here. He taught to bring the elbows in as close as you can physically get them. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but as soon as I bring my elbows like that, I literally feel like I'm in a lift. My muscles are so engaged straight away, just from moving, just in air, without me putting any weight through my arms. From doing that, suddenly everything switches on. I feel literally everything in my upper body go, okay, I'm here. Now, from that position, can lace the hands together. And he says, instead of putting your head, in the gap between the hands, keep the hands together and rest your head in that gap between the wrists, same place of the head, and try and balance with your head on your arm so your neck never is under pressure from your head being on the floor. So very helpful for those of you wanting to ever transition your headstand to pincher. So have a go with this variation. And the reason I was like, do I, don't I? Is because I didn't know whether you wanted to practice exactly what we've just done with your elbows closer together. Might feel slightly safer, yeah, with your back to get towards the wall. So you're facing away from the wall to set it up. Or if you feel pretty confident and you're like, no, I reckon I've got this, cool. The wall behind you is going to be great because I promise that if this is the first time you do it with the narrow elbows. So what he also said, and I love this because it's so true as well, is that if you start with your elbows narrow, they are going to slide out to some degree. This degree will be different depending on the person, okay? But that's going to happen. So if we start close, we're maximum going to come out to the place we think we want to be in when we set up the other one, yeah? but we might be closer in, which means we might be more compact, which means we will be stronger, we will be more stable. Have a go. If you always have to kick into headstand, so you can carry on doing this, and I can just let you know, I want you to try and practice not as much as you possibly can. Use a coffee table, the arm of a sofa. If you can make one commitment to yourself in practice when it comes to headstands, it would be to never kick off the floor into it. And I know that's frustrating and a bit annoying. I would rather see you go into pincher by kicking up and turn it into headstand when your feet are up there, whether they're against the wall or not. Okay? Because that way you are reinforcing that you need strength and stability before you use plyometric power to try and do something that puts weight through your neck. That's literally the only reason. The only time I ever get any unwanted after pains from yoga is from when I've done something in headstand that I shouldn't have done. The only time. Nice, good. When you're up in headstand, squeeze the bum, squeeze the legs, squeeze the thighs, engage your lower body. You're not just using the arms here. Everything engages. Nice, Becky. Can you press down harder and lift the feet even higher? Imagine I've got your ankles and I'm pulling you up, up, up. And that can go for anyone whose legs are up, actually. Yeah, imagine I've got your ankles and I'm gently drawing you up, up, up towards the sky. And I'm trying to deliberately lengthen your body. Nice, in this position. Really lovely. Amazing. Good. You can take rest and know that you can come back up. And maybe if you tried your arms closer together, you want to try them apart, or you want to see what pincher is like this way. I know I said it was strictly well, not strictly headstand, but it was headstand. But there's no rules here, really, apart from no kicking. That's the only rule I'll give you. And it's exhausting. You don't have to do a lot, do you, to just be in so much action that the body actually needs more oxygen. Suddenly you get out of breath because your muscles are working hard. And that's a good sign. If you're coming down and you're like, oh God, that is a sign, an indication that you are activating where you need to be, or you're activating something, which is definitely better than having nothing activated. Nice. Yes, Nicola, really nice. Good. Strong legs, push down, find that strength in the arms. Lovely, Emma, really nice. Great. Nice. Okay, guys, if you're feeling like, that's good. If you're feeling good, just come and sit back on your heels. If you want to have another go, have another go. Nice, Nicola, really lovely balance. You might feel like you're ready to start to downregulate. You might feel like, actually, you mentioned pincher. Now I want to kick up there. Yeah, have a play, have a go. Still take your time. The breath thing is so important, even here, especially here. When I said earlier in crow, exhale to move towards your maximum point. When you get to your maximum point, be there and inhale into that space. Yeah, inhale creates expansion. So if it's going to create expansion, we're going to be able to expand into the maximal point of our pose. Lovely. Those of you who are ready to take a moment to pause, to rest, you could allow yourself to rest with the arms and legs out wide, palms face up. You can start to move towards Shavasana. Start to move towards the space of not having to do. And as we start to let go, breathe. your body sink down into the floor. We're just going to take a few minutes here just to reset. There's in shot. And just allow your body to settle in, knowing that there's literally nothing required or expected of you here. You just get to be. Like relief after that heavy lifting work. Close your eyes. Breathe deep. Begin to deepen the breath. Taking longer, slower inhales and exhales. And as you fill the body with air and space, begin to move hands and feet, fingers and toes. Stretching, lengthening, releasing the body. And really slowly starting to come all the way up to seated. Eyes closed, hands together in prayer. Thumbs the third eye. Together this morning we'll seal our practice with a bow of love, honor and respect, remembering that we are all connected. We are one. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope you have